Good evening. It's the Tufton Borough Budget Committee, 6 o'clock, Tuesday, January 13th meeting. We have a quorum. Call the meeting to order. Pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. No public input. Approval of minutes.
There's also a set of non-public floating around.
Yeah. Well, let's deal with the public.
I didn't see anything that jumped out at me. I'd make a motion to approve the January 6th, 2025 minutes.
Second.
Any discussion?
That was like in stereo.
All in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Abstain.
That's 601. And then we have to go into non-public session to approve the non-public minutes. We just approve them. I don't have them.
I don't have them.
No, I've seen them.
There's
I've
only
reviewed them.
one copy supposed to be floating
Okay.
around here somewhere.
Here we go. All right.
Thank you.
I'll put them up.
You ready? Oh. Look at that.
Have you read it?
Yes, I have.
Okay.
I'd make a motion to approve the non-public minutes of January 6th.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Abstain.
601. Okay, we're getting to the end here. I am a little concerned, Dave, as to the timing of when we're going to get warrant articles and how we're going to face that timing. So I know you guys are sitting down on January 20th. A little worried we're going to get jammed at the end. So, but I'm counting on you that we're going to have enough time and we're going to be able to have a wholesome discussion and we're going to have adequate input. And not on you, but on the selectmen.
Right.
That's going to happen, right? Okay. And then we have the date of our meeting is, do you have that? I don't have that note, actually. Do you have that note that was sent out? February 10th. I mean, I guess we could push it back a week if we wanted more time.
We actually cannot, RSA requires it by the 13th, one.
Oh, okay.
Must occur. Doesn't have to be the final, but at least one by the 13th.
All right, we're not going to do two unless we
My
have to.
suggestion would be keep the 10th.
Yep, and
And
then,
use the 12th as a snow date.
okay. All right. Oh, I can't do the 12th. I can't do the 12th, actually. I'll do it later. It's later, yeah.
We're not gonna have to do it because it's gonna be fine on the 10th. We're not gonna have a snow day.
Okay, perfect.
There we go.
Okay. So that's resolved. So you're gonna let out all the notices and...
We're good with that then?
Yep.
The 10th?
Yep.
You need a vote or you have to?
No.
No, we're all good. Okay.
It'll be 65 in the townhouse.
Okay, so we got open requested items. Do we have a list of those?
It should be there for you on the table. If it's not, I can give you another one. It should be here. That
Okay.
big old stack.
Yeah, I got it right
I
here.
put them in the order that I anticipated.
Okay.
That we would be going through them.
Yeah,
So it should be after that spreadsheet that leads to the transfer center's salaries.
yeah. Okay, so look at this. All right. So I think what we'll do is we should go through the year-to-date expenditures and the warrant articles from last year when we go in the agenda, when we go through review of year-to-date 2025, year-to-date revenues and expenses. Do we get revenues by any chance?
I emailed it to you, but I didn't print it.
You
Those
eat-
should also be in that stack of randomness. It should be the last one in that group.
Okay, I don't think I got it.
I have a revenue
Yeah.
report.
There. That was in the back here?
Yes,
Yep,
it should be.
Last
Okay.
two pages.
Okay. Was this in the mail-out packet? No.
No, it's not. Not on Thursday, no.
Okay. Okay. Let's move down to the tabled budgets. Let's deal with the financial administration first. So, I think our two open issues were really the two large set-asides for MRI managed payroll of 14,000 and ClearGov budget software of 9,840. So that adds up to 24, almost 25,000. Nope, 24,000. Which comprises the biggest increase in this budget overall.
Want me to go?
Yep.
So after our last meeting, I took it upon myself, because we didn't really have a whole lot of information. So what I did was, I called towns. And what I did was, I'll tell you exactly how the conversations went. Conversations went like this, and I will tell you right out of the gate, every single town that I talked to was extremely forthcoming. They were great. So in each town situation, I spoke to either the finance director or the town administrator, depending upon the size of the town and, you know, how their structure was. And I asked them straight up, I said, hey, do you guys mind sharing what you use for financial software? I didn't ask any pointed questions, I just said, hey. So here you have a list of all the towns that I called and contacted. Conway, they use it's a newer program. It's starting to become more popular, but it's still very new to the area. It's called BSNA. It used to be called something else, but it's now called BSNA. Middleton is using MRI. Ossipee is using MRI with the MTS portion, which is the payroll portion and the financial software portion. They use just both of them. They use those in conjunction. Freedom uses BSA and Checkmate Tamworth, MRI MTS, New Durham, MRI MTS, and Moultonborough, MRI MTS, and Effingham does not use a municipal software. They use QuickBooks, which is completely not adequate to manage any town at all, and they've got a mess over there, and they've had a mess for years, and they're still trying to. Yeah, so they use QuickBooks. Yeah. So several of the towns, like I said, everybody was very nice, very forthcoming, and they specifically said, do not recommend using ClearGov or GWorks. They said that it was not worth the money, number one. The customer support was not what they said it was going to be. They all had demonstrations, and so I was like, oh, okay. So I took a little checklist, and they, like I said, I didn't ask them anything. All this stuff was given to me without any prompting. And like I said, Effingham doesn't use any financial software, municipal financial software at all. And I made other inquiries in regards to our software. So our software was originally MuniSmart, but it's now been purchased by another company, but it still is MuniSmart for all intents and purposes. And all of the extensions that is being proposed by only looking at one software, they're available, and the AP is being used right now through our software, and payroll can also be done through, and it is being done, but there's other pieces. And I contacted treasurers of other towns. I was pretty thorough with this. So looking at this, knowing what they're all using, I don't think, without doing due diligence, doing shopping around, and I don't understand why it would be the recommendation of one person to look at one software to make a decision for a town when there's nothing wrong with our software. The couple of treasurers that spoke to me further in depth said, if it's working and the auditors are very familiar with your software, number one, that saves you time. It also saves you money because the auditors know what reports needs to come from this particular software. And like I said, I spoke to a treasurer that is familiar with MuniSmart, even though they're not here, and they're like, yeah, if the auditor is comfortable and they know how to pull these reports, and the software is perfectly capable of doing what it's supposed to be doing, I think a lot more should go into this before we make a very rash decision. And then I did look up again that it was actually the September 24th, 2025 request that you made to have a demonstration be done and some more things be done as well. So I don't think it's a good business decision for us to go ahead and approve this without there being more. And honestly, they all said, this needs to go out to bid. This needs to have, you can't just do that. It's a pretty big decision to be made to switch financial software. And I don't even know, because I was not able to attend the demonstration. Several of the towns said that if you did purchase something, and I'll use Freedom as an example. Freedom uses a different software for their payroll, and they were told it would integrate perfectly, and guess what? It doesn't. They have to journal entry, many journal entries after every single payroll. It does not download. It does not mesh with the software, and it is a nightmare. But they're stuck with it for right now, and they're going to work on fixing that.
Is this the VSA Checkmate?
Checkmate is the payroll. BSA is the financial software.
Right. So the Checkmate
Will not.
will not integrate with BSNA.
Nope.
Okay.
It will via a bazillion journal entries.
Right. No. I understand that's obviously a manual process that sort of defeats the purpose.
100%. Yeah. So that was what I did. And like I said, everybody was really very forthcoming. They all said, hey, you need any other questions, please feel free to ask. I didn't say what we were using. I just said that we were thinking about maybe doing something else, so tell
We're
us.
using MRI right now,
No, we're using Unismart.
Unismart.
Well, it's not Unismart anymore. It's been bought out by another company and I can't remember.
Harris.
Yeah.
So, but from what I did a little bit of research too, and I found out that Harris isn't really supporting that so much, and that they are tying that operation down. So, I'd say that's in the medium outlook. You should probably be looking for an alternative. That's going away. From again, what I've determined. So.
So okay. So MRI. It seems like most of these people are using MRI, and we want to go to an MRI payroll, right? So that sort of be the integration. I personally, and this, I have some pretty deep wounds from doing these things across the board. That they take a lot of planning, a lot of time, and a lot of execution. And I'm not 100% convinced that we've done that work to go ahead and do this right now. And so that's the part that's really sitting with me. I'd much rather defer this to 2026 and go back and do the work and have the detail put together, put it out to bid, get additional pricing, get more, see what the services are. Sounds like ClearGlove is just another patch. So we basically would have 3 patches. We'd have Unismart, we'd have MRI for payroll, and we'd have ClearGlove for budgeting. And I bet you one of them does all of them. This would be my overall judgment on that.
MRI and MTS
So-
are together. They are the same company.
Let me ask you about a going forward process. So, thank you, Chris, first of all,
Yeah.
for doing that. So let's, for the sake of argument, say the budget committee decides to pull those dollar amounts out of the budget. And we do some due diligence, and let's say by June, I'm picking a date out of my hat. We now want to move forward with whatever, maybe MRI. Financially, how do we do that?
So what I would do if I were you guys, I would create an expendable trust fund. Because you're gonna need a new software system, you're gonna need the whole thing. We just put one up at PAC. It cost us $360,000 to do it. It's a complete manufacturing thing. It's a capital investment.
Yeah.
Period, full stop.
Yeah, I
And
mean,
so that's,
it's
if I was
not an
gonna do
operating
that,
expense.
yeah.
So-
I'd put 25 grand in expendable trust fund for now. And I would set it aside, and then they'll give you plenty of money to get from June to the end of the year to get this thing figured out.
And then at that point, it becomes, whatever the yearly maintenance fees are, becomes an operating expense.
Correct.
Yeah, the annual dues, fees, whatever. But to purchase it outright, it's really a capital expense because it's not an operating expense because, it's going to have a life.
The installation, the whole acquisition, install, and that is a one-time fee that you're going to pay people to come and do that work
Right.
for you.
Correct.
I mean, you know this stuff as well as
I do.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm like talking to the person who knows more than I do now about it. So
Well, they could either do that or, honestly, I mean, some of the stuff, because we haven't even gotten to the warrant articles, but to your point, and it's a very good question, David. I think it could actually be something that should be just a regular old warrant article and go to the voters, because with the cost of replacing the entire package, I think you're gonna be looking at a pretty substantial amount. I was trying to do a little bit more research after looking at this, and, we're talking a pretty significant chunk of change. So this might actually have to be something that, granted, the voters aren't going to know exactly what it is, but it actually is, you know what I mean? It's an integral part of our whole system here. So this might end up having to be a warrant article because 25 grand's not going to cover it.
No, it's 30 to 60 probably.
It's
Oh, it's
like
probably more,
75
100,
to
yeah.
150.
but I was
just
thinking
for the
to get us-
program.
to get us expendable trust fund to get us going now.
I agree.
So that we then have the next year when you know more, you can ask for more money. But so I'm learning for the first time that Unismart, right? I've got the right one.
Yes.
Is probably headed out the door, which is problematic. That's what happened to us up there.
Can I, and this is just from my own knowledge, how did you come upon that information, if I may ask?
Right on
It's
the
on the
website.
internet.
Okay, so it's readily available.
It's readily
Oh, yeah.
available.
You can look at
Yeah.
it. Yep, it's Harris.
I think they've made public statements saying
They have
this
made-
is something
that's
that
what-
their operation.
I guess that's where I was going, is this
Yeah.
something that's public knowledge?
It is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Audrey's on the firing line here every day with this kind of stuff. If she's got something she'd like to
Yeah.
present, I think we ought to hear it.
I agree.
So I did talk in depth with New Durham and Sandwich, and Sandwich has a newer town administrator. They went with the MRI payroll, and first, I'm gonna back up a second, I am totally good tabling the budget software. The MRI, it was, one of their major reasons was to take out the risk associated with doing payroll. There's state and federal and New Hampshire retirement requirements that, I'm not a payroll specialist, I don't know, and neither does, my assistant who processes the payroll. And, an example of one of the risks was, while I was out, the first payroll of 2026 got posted to 2025. And that could have been really detrimental if W-2s had run and
Right,
the
22,
taxes were in the wrong year. So there's, with limited personnel, I do feel like the woman in Sandwich that there's a liability. I believe part of the reason New Durham went with a new software, and I have their presentation in hand, was for the, it gets rid of the manual paper timesheets, which are a challenge here as well. There's no automation. There's no pre-approval process. None of our timesheets
Yeah.
are signed by supervisors. I shouldn't say none, very few though. And it gives supervisors and management a more streamlined look at everything. But I do feel like our biggest risk here is liability, and getting it right. And the reason they went with MRI is, I'm sure some of these other towns, and yeah, thanks for calling them, Chris, is because it interfaces so well with New Hampshire retirement. New Hampshire retirement just had a change because of one of the House bills, and there's two different statuses for police and for fire, and how if you were hired before a certain date, and if you were if you were vested as a certain date, there's many different flavors that to keep up with on how do you do these things. So the implementation that New Durham paid for the payroll alone was $14,750, and it only goes down $750 to $14,000 once it's bundled with their accounting software. The accounting software, just for your information, costs $33,000, and the annual support is $9,000. So it's not huge, and they do include implementation with that.
This is all MRI. This is MRI.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
And New Durham, in their documentation, they have a couple months where MRI just goes through the personnel policy and procedure with them. Then they import data, and it's a couple months of testing data back and forth. Then you run a few payrolls together. Make sure everything's balancing before you go live. So this is a 9-month process, 10-month process. So if the voters were to approve it in March, we would still not be looking at going live till the end of the year.
Yeah, so I'm coming out in the same place. where I was, I think, before. But this time actually with better information. One, that our current system is probably kind of like the Titanic, about to sink, right? And so that's not good. And so we need to go ahead and find something new. I think we need to do our due diligence though. And I'd find out who the 3 or 4 best are at doing this. I'd have them come and present. I'd pick one. I'd have them all quote. All give you pricing so you can use one against the other. And then I would do it. And for the March meeting, I'd put together an expendable trust that says we're going to put 30,000 into the expendable trust. It will get you through what I'm hearing right now. It will get you through to at least this time next year when we've got to do it, or maybe it's 40,000. And I think you can send up to the town and say, right now our software we've used for 20 years, that company's about to go, has notified us they're about to go out of business. We need to put a new software in for this and payroll, and we've got to do the work to get that done. But we know it's going to cost about $40,000 or $60,000, and this will be enough to get us to do that work and move forward. Let the voters vote. It's definitely a capital expense. It's definitely not an operating expense to do it. The initial acquisition is a capital expense. So I would very strongly recommend, even as I hear you talk about the payroll process taking 9 months to get done, you don't want to then go and get another software to do the town accounting and budgeting that doesn't tie into that after you spend 9 months getting it right, when the other company you pick may have a good software. Until you've got the whole thing figured out, that's when you pull the trigger on it. So that would be my suggestion. What's your reaction to that suggestion?
I feel the town does have a liability, partly because of the knowledge of the staff, including myself. I'm not an HR person or payroll person. When I do the W-2s and tax forms out to employees, I'm always like nervous. Okay, here we go, let's do it. And cross my fingers, like it's not a comfortable place to be.
So maybe we need to get somebody to help you as a consultant to come and do that in the meantime. But it was not that we're not going to get to the right place. It's just the time. We don't want to get to the wrong place because we're being frightened by a liability that we may or may not have. Right. I think we want to get to the right place, which is a combined and consolidated data system that will manage information management system, whatever they call them now, that will manage your entire thing and move forward. And it seems to me it all needs to get looked at. So I would definitely move forward with a warrant article on this.
I just have a question.
And by the way, Audrey, so you're in the same time frame. You really have no difference in time frame, right? Because once you got the expendable trust, you're still moving forward. But you got a little more. You have more certainty about money, and then you can go look at the broad picture. So you're not in a different place. This is going to get approved at the same time as the warrant article gets approved.
If they present it. I mean, it's going to be up to the selectmen to do that if we decide not to put that in there. And the fact of the matter is, this information that you're bringing to us now should have been brought to us back in October. There should have been a whole spreadsheet with all the costs, with all the prices, with all the software, because, knowing that you can't just piecemeal something together 9 times out of 10, it doesn't work because they don't talk to each other. And so I think that, pushing hard to have a warrant article should probably be the way to go, because it is a capital expense. It's not an operating expense. It will be with the dues and fees and the yearly stuff, but before that, it's a capital expense.
So Dave, to be fair to you, I know you haven't spoken to your 2 other select men to select board. So I'm happy not to vote on this right now and wait until our next meeting to vote on it. It doesn't really matter. It's going to be 1 or 2 numbers.
Yeah, I mean, in fairness to them, while I feel I'm actually in agreement with you folks in the sense that what you're talking about is a viable way to go, but in deference to my crew, then I want to
Okay.
But, you know,
Let's defer.
so the procedure from here at this point, let's just for the sake of argument say that Bob and Chip agree with me, that, or agree with you, I should say, right? Agree with me to
Yeah,
agree with you.
just agree with us
Um,
all. You can do one of two things. You can take it out of here and present and vote on a new one,
Right.
or you can,
Let us take it out
Let's
and,
You can
take-
take it out and,
because we can do that right now.
right, no, I know that, yes,
Right.
I'm aware, and so, I mean, what are you comfortable with?
I mean, we can take it out and just have the voters vote on ours because that's what, you know, that's what they do. But it would look better if it was closer, but we don't care. I mean, you guys are gonna be under the gun on the 20th. You got a lot of work to do.
Yeah, but I don't feel like this, I mean, honestly,
If you just revisit it, revote it, would that be fine, better?
yeah,
Okay.
I mean, they may still feel,
yeah, you
Again,
may. That's why,
speaking only for myself,
You wanna give them the opportunity.
I want to give them the opportunity. I don't care either way whether we pull it out and then you just go with it or
Right.
it's procedural
Right.
at this point.
Right.
So
yeah, no, I agree with that.
We agree with that too. It's just what, you know, if
how do
you
we
wanna
want to
defer.
proceed?
Yeah,
And then
yeah.
I think, you know, just out of respect for
Okay,
the other two,
cool.
if you don't mind. I mean, we've already had the discussion. It's not like there's anything more to really talk about. It's really good. At this point, would you agree that it's just a vote?
Yep.
Yeah, it's a
Either
vote.
way?
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
okay.
Yeah,
So
and
then-
I think the budget committee is going to be very much inclined to vote to put to take out $23,840. Well, I'm going to speak for myself.
You can speak for me.
Yeah.
It would be-
I think it's a.
Okay,
We
so
can take an ad hoc
I-
vote.
yeah.
Do you think that that's
Yeah.
what, the way we're probably going to go?
I would think so.
Okay.
Yeah, okay, so the 23,840 would come out of the budget, finance administration budget. All right,
So we'll table it.
Yep.
Sounds good.
solid waste.
How about personnel?
That'd be a really good band name.
You want to do solid waste first, or you want to do?
Well, 'cause I think we have to do solid
Oh,
waste
yeah, I have to do
first.
solid waste first,
Otherwise,
don't
we're
we?
gonna have
Do we have an updated one?
So I have I was looking at, and this gets, I was looking at the numbers that we had for C&D disposal and MSW disposal in the month of December that absolutely skyrocketed. And so I don't know why that would be the case.
I wish I could tell you.
And I don't have the final numbers, but I can tell you,
What's the account number, solid waste 41 what?
4324.
4324.
Oh, there's it.
Did you say C and D and MSW?
Yep.
Okay.
So we spent, yeah, 24,000 on MSW disposal in December, when our entire budget was 141,000. So that just seems like a really big number. I'm just wondering whether we don't have a couple of bills in that. We don't have a January bill in there or something. So it's like 17%. When you think it'd be less than 10%. You know,
Should be.
1/12 and it's
Yeah.
December, so.
Should be.
So there, I agree with you, but I believe the exception can be depending on if stuff, the timing of things. Do you understand what I'm saying? So as Chris has explained it, I think to the budget committee, but maybe not, at least certainly to us, the timing of the way things work can affect any given month. So, for example, let's say you've collected waste oil for the last 12 months.
Right.
Right, and it comes in December. You've got a hit there that you wouldn't, you know. So it could be any number of things where we're holding on to it for a while.
Right.
And then now,
Yeah.
does that mean more than something happened in December? I don't know. I'm just saying that it is in the realm of possibility that certain things get delayed and then not put in until the last minute.
Yeah, well, this is also municipal waste and construction. So and the same thing for the
Well-
C&D. I'm just wondering whether we didn't book, it'd be good to go back and look at those invoices. I couldn't see them because they weren't in my invoice run. Cause they came in after the invoice run was done.
We don't have access to the January bills until February, so, I know we just paid these last week, and I feel like 100% confident, and I can run and get the file, but,
So,
yeah, I don't know if, I'm thinking, not in joking even, that with Thanksgiving and Christmas and, you know, the that's the standard household waste, MSW.
Yeah,
That might just really skyrocket.
okay, it would just be good to take a look and see.
so, sorry, to be clear.
Yeah.
So I understand your question, Rob. Your concern is that there's the chance that there were January invoices on the December.
Yeah, like we got a week of January or something, or something like that. No, well, I just don't understand why we'd be at 25, unless there was some catch up on the invoice, or there was some billing, there's no gas surcharge or anything on that.
I'll grab it and you can keep track while I grab it. but,
Okay,
yeah.
it's just kind
Yeah,
of
I'd
weird.
like to see November's and December's on the yeah, on both. Thank you. The
On the
voice
what?
isn't, I can't talk today. It's one of those days.
You, Tom?
Yeah, I'm trying it out.
So the electronics disposal, that's definitely one that could be,
Like a lumpy.
one of the that's, yeah, somewhat, lumpy's a good way to to put it. So electronics disposal falls under that for one.
And plastics, he did 4 different bundles apparently in December. 2 each on the 11th of December. And then we have one here that says actually, the 8th, 2 of them on the 8th of January, which is not year
Yeah,
end.
I see that.
That's kind of out of place.
Is that the date when they were actually paid? Like, how does,
That was the date of that it was probably it was inputted into the system, because the January 6th is for, obviously, December. 12/11 was for November. By all regular,
Okay.
So
Right.
that just happens to be
Right,
the first Thursday in
exactly.
January that wasn't a holiday.
right,
All right, that explains that.
Yeah.
Simple.
yeah.
And that being the case, then December's C and D was, what, $7,223 and change.
Yep,
What's that, C&D?
C&D,
Yeah,
and
It's
November's.
24,000. MSW was 24,000.
Yeah, he was just pulling out that 1 month.
Yes, C&D was 18.
Now that I realize that
so there's 2 months in
Yep.
this.
Oh, no, you've
C&D.
booked 2 months on here.
Yeah,
You booked November's balance and you booked December's. You booked the private.
December.
Yeah, but you also booked November and November. November's in November too.
That would be October's.
No, if you look there, they got the prior month, the 24,000 is the prior month, and then 12,000 is December. So the bill was for 24,000 because you hadn't paid November yet. But I mean, I'm sure they got paid because it was past due. And your check's probably crossed in the mail. Let's go back to, I can look at it in here.
do you have your October? Is there October in there? Is that December?
So there's 2 months of C and D in
Right.
December.
No, but I think we paid the November. What was the November balance? I gotta go try and find it here. That's on that bill.
The 12,573.
Previous was 11,663.84, which is, you've got it here, sitting here.
to print that. This would be one of the ones. No, this probably is not one of the ones that I printed out. This is here.
November, December?
That's November.
Yeah.
That's December.
Gotcha.
That's November.
Yeah,
So,
understood. Right, and so this is catch up in December.
Here we go. Tufton Brush, the Church Clerical. Oh my goodness.
dig out service, $150. Dig out service, $150. It's $300 for December.
What account is that? Sorry. What
This. Sorry. 40, what is it, 43,
Yeah, transfer station,
24,
correct.
21.
So we have 2 months of Fosdick and 2 months of C&D.
Right, so in January you wouldn't get any because we get the bill in February and process it. So January will be light and then they catch up.
And two months of MSW. So does that mean that November's numbers were lighter as a result?
November reflected October, October reflected September.
Okay.
So January will be none because that would have been December.
Because the
but-
December
yeah,
payment was made.
in January, but posted in 2025.
Right.
Yeah.
So we didn't have anything in January. So we got 1 month that was not in here before. So we book in December, we booked 2 months
Right, because
of expense.
we don't backdate invoices or repost.
So on the 16th, that was paid,
12 that was paid, yeah.
and that was paid.
2025,
11,
the first.
yeah, so that's right. So those, we did pay them then, right?
So this was paid on, yes, so this was paid on 12/16. This one right here.
11653, which is that,
Yes.
is that on the December bill? No, no.
This is on, well, actually, it's attached to the November bill. I don't know why.
That's what I'm worried about. 11673.
Yeah,
It's closure monitoring though. What the hell does that mean? Anyway. 15701 was paid for MSW disposal in November.
so that must have been for October's.
Most of October's.
Yep. This is- yep.
So that's why it's so high, because we paid 2 months. We don't pay anything in January.
Right.
Okay. So this is 2 months worth of expense. At least I knew it was wrong. Not wrong, but
Yeah.
okay. And while we, okay, we'll come back to that. All right, so my issue, so do we, is there any detail on the procurement process for the solid waste contract? There's no detail. So we didn't do bid. We don't know when we put it out last to bid. Okay. All right. So my issue with this is really twofold. One, I think we have an operational issue where I just don't think we're efficient and we've got stuff going on there. That's, I mean, literally you can walk into the middle of Tuftonburg and somebody will tell you that. And two, we put out a $1.5 million contract. We signed a $1.5 million contract basically without any competitive pricing on it, which is very tough. So I'm looking for ideas on what to do because I don't feel it's a tough situation for sure. So
Do we need to separate the situations? You know what I mean by that?
Yes.
Yeah,
They
that
have
could
to
be an,
separated.
yeah, I think that is a good start. That's a really good idea.
So, I mean, Bob, you know, I think is fully on board and has said so both in public and on paper that we, to a certain degree, to a certain degree, agree with you that it should be revisited. So, in that sense, thank you for bringing it up. Now, the question is, how do we move forward? Do we separate it? Do you, as me, as a budget committee, move forward with the current budget, knowing, and because Bob has said, and I agree with him, that we need to put together at least an ad hoc committee to figure out what's going on. And, you know,
I
does that
I'm
assuage anything?
I am not comfortable approving a budget of this amount for this particular department because it's not, first of all, it's based on what little we know and what little has been found out. I don't think it's responsible. I don't think it's logical. And it's just, we need to come up with a reasonable solution to move forward for the year.
Sure.
I am absolutely 100% not comfortable with that number down
So what do you
there.
propose for a reasonable solution?
Hold on a second. Which two topics are we talking about?
We're splitting the efficiency of the personnel and operations.
Operations.
So basically,
Contract.
operations and budget.
Right. Okay.
Okay, I thought it was operations and contract.
Yeah, that's.
Well, I threw that under operations
Okay,
myself.
Do we need to go out of public for some of this conversation?
No, not as long as.
Not contract, not the contract piece, but the other piece.
Well, I mean, we had that conversation last week in non-public. So unless you feel like there's more needs to be said.
Well,
then
I'd like
no.
to see if we can get an update on it.
There is no
Alright,
update on it right
There's no update.
now. There is
okay.
no update on it right now. That I can tell you. Okay.
There you go.
I don't feel comfortable, and so we're gonna be limited in the conversation, obviously, because we're still public. I'm not comfortable with the fact that there's been nothing done. There's been no action taking place.
Yeah.
So with the selectmen not taking any action, I feel like the selectmen have shifted the liability back onto us because we are now aware of what's going on. And that I am not comfortable with.
Okay.
So, without you guys doing something, something's going to get done.
So, how does?
And I don't feel comfortable talking about being in public.
Yep.
So, that's why I'm saying.
Audrey, you gonna say something?
The town has no liability. I've looked into it. The town has no liability.
Can we have a
We're going to non-public.
yeah.
I make a motion to go non-public, with 91A dash A, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Second.
Personnel,
No, you gotta vote, roll. Second, sorry, yeah.
Yeah.
Wanna start the vote? Yeah, Kevin second.
by Guy.
All right.
I'm sorry, what's that? What are you looking for? I
So-
didn't hear anything.
We're going into
non-public.
So you gotta vote under it with your name.
Yes, yes. What?
So you gotta vote, we're voting to go into
You need
non-public.
my name, right?
Yeah.
Okay, Garrett James, yes.
Rorson, yes.
Sawyer, yes.
Cochran, yes.
Yeah.
I make a vote that we come out of non-public.
Second, by Guy.
All right.
Garrett James, yes.
Rorson, yes.
Sawyer, yes.
Cochran, aye.
Yes.
Okay, great. So I think given the concerns we have is we should, I think in fairness to you, we should table this so you can understand and go back to the selectmen so they can come back and we can have a discussion about it because I don't really want to put it all on you. My suggestion would be, and it happens to be very close to the 23,766 number, but my suggestion would be to flatline this budget with last year.
Yep.
And it's kind of just sends a message.
Yep.
I could only agree.
So, and I think I probably have the
Yeah.
budget
Yep.
committees.
Yep.
And I think that's kind of a it's a nice way to say we want to see this change next year, and you got a year to figure out how you save 23,000 on something that should be saving a lot more money.
Is that a reasonable request?
I go back to them on Tuesday and we'll have that conversation. And obviously, as the budget committee, we have the full enforcement power to do that.
But it's not really, I mean, yeah, we do, but it's just sort of like, wanting to get to the right answer for the town.
No, yeah,
It's
I
fully,
don't
it's fully what
disagree,
the
and,
goal is here, yeah.
It's a complicated issue, and so, that's why it's taken us this long to.
Let me just make one point though. So this will be on the salary line, but no additional information on our part, other than just a cut in number, right?
Yeah.
I'm not sure that pulls us out from underneath the fact that we're involved in this. And,
Which aspect, the personnel side or
Yeah,
the contract?
personnel side.
Yeah, no, well, I'm assuming, we're not voting on this right now, because I'm assuming when we come back next time, there's gonna be a response from these guys that's gonna be satisfactory.
Yeah, and I'm saying that if they come back and they just say, well, okay, cut the money, and they don't say why, then I think we need to say why. So that might be a decision that we have to be faced with.
To a certain
More
degree, you
specific
can't
as
say
to-
why.
Right.
To a certain degree, you can't say why.
Yeah,
You can
Well-
say for,
It's a balance, and if we're knocking off risk for the town, which is our primary fiduciary responsibility, not the individual, we may have to, I'm just saying, we gotta think about this during this time period for next meeting, okay?
I don't disagree with you,
Yeah.
Gary, I think we just gotta think through what it is.
Yeah.
I think that one of the things, I think to me, the more unfortunate fact here is that we didn't put this contract out to bid. And so
Okay.
really getting that resolved, I
that's
think
the
this,
other thing, yeah.
so that one's more difficult to resolve. The other one, I think the selectmen is fully in their control to resolve
Yeah.
once and for always. So,
I
Okay.
just have one question.
Sure.
Or point, and that's, many of the budgets, you're not really approving the person, you're approving the position. So
It's still irrelevant.
approving it would be saying yes, 3 full-timers and a part-timer.
That's still, we still have the question, generally speaking, because of the overall cost, so it's irrelevant either way.
I think so.
Yeah.
Okay. And then then we can't really get to personnel administration either. I just,
No, you're right. We
Yeah.
can't. It's all in flux.
So the other, so I had one question on, so I'm glad we got this, because this is different.
I work with Chris to make sure our numbers are aligned.
Okay, good. On that, and also it's aligned now. Do we ever get to the answer as to why we're $40,000 over on our budget for the retirements? Is the question I asked last week?
Why we're over on the.
Why we're under, why our budget was over. 40,000
Oh.
on the retirement, on the New Hampshire retirement system. Oh, no, medical.
It was based on the assumption with new hires, and not all of the new hires took medical.
Okay, can I see, can you take last year's sheet? I just want to make sure we got this right, because it's such a big number. Can you take last year's sheet and just show me which ones, just say, which ones didn't take what we thought they were going to take? Because as far as I can see, the people we hired last year, I guess the only two differences are we might have had family plans. I gotta go back and look, but it'd be good to see what we assumed and what actually happened, just so we know we got it right.
And this is just a point, Dave, this is just So when I was talking to the towns as well, like I said, they were all really quite forthright. So, our health insurance is through Health Trust, correct?
I don't.
It's Health Trust,
Yeah, it's right here.
okay?
Is that right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, right.
So there is the ability to shop around, and I will tell you that a town that's kind of similar to us, they went through the Baldwin Group. They have the exact same plan, and it's Anthem. I don't know what town employees have here, and it's irrelevant. $73,000 difference in cost annually. So,
Sorry, 73,000 between, when
they shop.
let me clarify.
yep,
What town was it? Oh, so never mind. Okay. A town
yep,
did a shopping, and between Baldwin Group and Health Trust,
mm-hmm,
they saw a $73,000 difference.
yep, with the
Okay.
exact same plan.
Okay.
So I think it would behoove whomever does this to, just like the software, to start shopping around. $73,000 is a big chunk of change for healthcare savings. Because they have a similar payroll, a similar employee base.
Number
Yeah.
of
Yep.
employees.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, I think it is part of what the deal is with the town employees to get these level of benefits. I think it just sort of is the deal, so we can't, but it's a really big expense, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I could say probably everybody at this table already knows this, but this is like exactly the kind of stuff that I was doing at Boston Scientific with a much larger budget, and as soon as we put something out to RFP, 15% right off the
Yeah.
bat, not even batting an eye. So as soon as they see that it's a competitive situation, you've got a better price. And that's just not starting any negotiation whatsoever.
And I will also tell you this, because you were just speaking of the premium policies that they have here. There was so much of a savings that the town voted to pick up the, all the copay, the deductible, the deductible for all the employees, because there was no difference in their coverage, and they opted to cover the deductible because there was such a savings on the plans itself. And it was the exact same plan that they had had. So I think shopping would be a real good idea.
Thank you.
Okay,
Is that yours with all the notes on it?
No.
That's Rob's.
it's mine, thank you. I probably gave you more sheets than.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Oh, there should be one for Audrey and one for
Yeah, there's two left.
Thank you.
Ashley.
Do you want me to keep the waste management bills?
Yeah,
Thank you.
thank you. There we go. So I wanted to, there's been a lot of airwave chatter on Tuftonboro TV on the,
I like that. Tuftonboro TV.
on the on the budget and exactly who did what to whom and who's been cutting who and who's been taking food out of the dog's bowl and all those conversations. So I wanted to take some time just so we could all take a look and see exactly who did what to whom. So last year, the budget committee, the selectmen approved a $5,222,923. The budget committee came in $31,000 less than that, at $51,886, which is around about half of 1% less than what the selectmen did. I highlighted the yellow budget line items where we differed, right? And in every case, other than for the fire department, we were closer to what the actual number was than what the selectmen picked, which I'm not trying to toot my own horn.
I know.
Yeah, but it's just, that's, and then
Yeah.
fire and rescue, primarily because of engine number one and $20,000 worth of repairs that were unforeseen, we ended up being $10,000 off on that. So net, we were together, collectively, the selectmen and the budget committee voted on a highway and streets budget, which was the same, $734,300. That number happened to be $122,000 less than what we actually spent for both of us.
Yep.
The big difference in this budget is that line item, period, full stop. So all this other chatter
Yep.
is totally kind of nonsensical, to be honest. And I'm happy to debate that with anybody who wants to debate it. And at the end of the day, you're right. There is $31,184 left in the budget, primarily because of the $122,000 that we overspent in that budget. But we also have to take out the $22,250 of encumbered funds. There's also funds that were encumbered from last year that need to get added back in to this fund, right? Because those were expenses that are in here that haven't been adjusted out yet.
Right.
So that probably is more of a wash. We bought Parks and Rec Dock for $20,000, which we didn't have to, and we got a $75,000 reserve. So if anything was going to happen, I would say it's kind of a gold star on this budgeting for 2025. I'm happy to stand up in front of the town and tell them that we did a really good job. Collectively, not the budget committee, the selectmen and the budget committee, everybody working together came to a really good answer at the end of the day. So, I think that we should stop beating up on people as part of this process and make it, as much of a team as we can. Obviously, we're going to be on opposite sides for some things, but there's no reason for it to be,
Thank you for putting this together. I think we should.
Sure.
I think we should put that on Tuftonboro TV.
Where is this Tuftonboro TV? Where is it?
I think we're on it.
We're on it.
We're on it.
Well, tomorrow you'll be on it.
Give it 36 hours. We'll be there.
So that was that, and then I looked through the expenses that going through the year-end expenses. I haven't looked at the revenues because we didn't get them before. We could do that next time. And I guess I have a few questions on them. And I haven't seen, there is a significant increase in government building spending in the month. We had a month where we spent $31,000. So, and I sort of would like to understand what that was for. And in particular, the transfer station maintenance that we spent, we have an expendable trust. So some of that money should probably just come out of that expendable trust when we replaced certain things for the transfer station, right? So that we should move that out of that. So if you look at line item, where is it? Wherever. Transfer station outside maintenance. That amount, which increased just at the end of December, 4194650 would be an account to look at.
Sorry.
And also,
Went too far.
I know we spent $7,000 on the Central Fire Department maintenance in December. I just don't know what that was for.
Maintenance area.
And then we spent $10,000 on vehicle maintenance in December too, which is what put us over on the budget. So I wouldn't mind seeing what that was for.
Which department?
Fire department.
Fire.
Yeah, the 10,000. I think they had trouble with engine number 1 or something. And then on, we did the C&D disposal. There was another one related to, there's something going on with our photocopier. I know, this sounds crazy, but we got a credit somewhere. Oh, right, is it right here? No, prosecutor, no. Oh my goodness. Yeah, it was right here.
Postage?
But no, was it postage or was it photocopy? Maybe it's postage. Yes, right, it's right here. It's postage. Yeah. Somehow somebody paid us $3,900 And we've been paid $5,000 for postage.
So that's a moving target account. What happens is finance admin, one line pays the postage, and then quarterly we run a report and we do a journal entry to put it into the correct department, like the tax collector postage, the town clerk postage. So November, December, that journal entry is gonna be really large because all the tax bills went out. And so we would have credited that account, debited the tax collector postage, and maybe not bought the new postage. It's one of those moving accounts.
But we can't have $5,000 worth of credit postage in that account at the end of the year. I mean, the whole budget was $1,200. Right now we've got a $6,300 unspent on a $1,200 budget. So that this account's just hasn't been allocated correctly or something. There's a double allocation.
Yeah.
Okay.
Somebody paid us a whole lot of money in postage.
So that was that
The
one.
money, yeah, that's not being paid.
What's that? Yes, it's somehow allocated to the wrong. We just got to get it so we don't have a problem next year when our number, or when I have to, when it shows up and somebody's going to ask that question. Let's get it into the right accounts. Right. That's the goal. That's that, and then, yeah, we should all have this. Can we ever just have this sheet out that came out? It's on the warrant articles.
Airboat, scuba, police crew.
This guy?
I mean,
Okay. Where are we?
I don't have it.
The one she gave us.
I should have.
Oh, you do it too?
I probably have one for
Oh,
you.
yeah, sure. Keep going.
Yep, thank you.
There you go. Right there.
Oh,
Where that is.
So on the fire department airboat, that all looks good to me. So somehow I guess the money we put the 100,000 in and all the other money came in to pay for it, right? That was how that worked. Fire department, SCBA, that went into the capital reserve account, which is one thing. The police cruiser, I don't understand why this is not offset. So the 21,500, was that a capital reserve or was that just an amount that went into?
No, that's their capital reserve fund.
So then why do we have the 106,000 of expenses? And why haven't we got the capital reserve offset from it yet?
I haven't reconciled these accounts, so I don't have the answers.
Wasn't there a voucher sent to the trustees of the trust funds to have that money come out?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, so that was paid.
But it's in this year-to-date expense account, so it has
It's not an expense, yeah, you're right. It's gotta be offset.
should be offset, right?
Yep.
But the offset happens up above in the revenue accounts where when I post it, I don't post these line items.
So when it gets pulled out, it goes into the revenue account, doesn't offset?
Right, because it goes,
It's not a revenue.
these aren't revenue, these are expense accounts.
I know, but the money coming from the capital reserve is not a revenue.
There's
It's a,
a cash line that says revenue from state of New Hampshire, revenue from trustees of trust funds, revenue from FEMA. So it's a
It shouldn't be
different
revenue.
area.
Can we get to the bottom of this? Because this is bugging me, and I've asked the question before, and last time you said you had to look into it. So if we can just get the answer to this, to why this is, because this is never going to go away then, right? It seems that these things should all net down to zero at the end when they're closed. this is a new one, the ARPA grant expenses. I mean, ARPA's done a long time ago, right? So what is this?
The police is spent.
Hmm?
The police is spent.
What do you mean, the police cruiser?
No, the police facility, they've taken all the money out of the capital reserve account.
But this is the 500,000 warrant article.
Yeah.
So they've only taken 181 out of that.
I don't think so.
Yeah, because they're spending the other money first. Yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah.
So that,
Okay, so trustees, trust funds keep getting,
So the ARPA money is related to the backhoe and expenses moved into the account.
so what does that mean? Because there's a bunch of money for the backhoe. There was a bunch of money for the backhoe. Where did I see a bunch of money spent for the backhoe? Oh, it's right down here in the, we took out, which I was surprised.
And it's gotta come out of there, as Chris pointed out a couple meetings ago, under the transfer station equipment. That's not written to have expenses in it.
Right. So where's that, that's what I'm worried about. So where's that money gonna go to?
It's probably gonna go under the contingency fund.
Which contingency fund?
undesignated fund balance.
No, the contingency warrant article for 75,000.
So when does that happen?
Right now, I'm planning on being in here Monday when it's quiet and I can do only this kind of thing.
That's been spent. I'm gonna get Pete to give me that. That's been spent. I need Pete to give me that.
The fire suppression is the completion of the project in this building.
But that wasn't, was that a non-lapsing warrant article?
Once it's under contract, the project's under contract, the auditors track that money. And
Was,
so
If it's not lapsing, it's,
was it whatchamacalled?
encumbered.
Encumbered? Because it's not encumbered, then it's done.
yep.
These things, yeah, we need to get to the,
Yeah.
because that could be a 2025 expense. And then the PD facility, that's.
I'm gonna look at that. I'm gonna get that information. The cruiser, the PD.
Solar seems okay, because
The
that's.
PD facility, that's the warrant article, petition warrant article.
Yeah. And that, we spent 181,000 against that so far.
Correct.
Yeah, and so, and the solar facility should have an amount, right, because that was non-lapsing, that was 300,000. So that was non-lapsing, so that should be, I'm sure, I think it was non-lapsing. And then the body worn grant, body camera worn camera grant, that should be offset by the, is the grant in revenue?
Yes.
Okay, can we, so when I see the revenues, I'm gonna see that. And then how does this account get closed out?
I'll have to ask the auditors, I don't know that.
Okay. And then the road preparation and paving, this will go to the unassigned fund balance, right, the rest?
7,000, yes.
Yeah. Okay, fire and truck lease, neighborhood roads and paving, the same thing with this 15,000. So it's be 22,000 to the unassigned fund balance,
Yeah.
okay? So on the transfer station renovation, I don't, we 63,000. What is that warrant article again? Because we now spent 70,000 of the 63,000. That can't be right. Oh, it's an expendable trust that we created for 63,000, and we spent 70,900. So we're 7,900 over already.
I don't know what the balance is of that, I do.
we established the transfer station.
So the budget, this is the tough part, the budget is what the town voted on last year. So when a town says they have a $7 million budget, 5 million is operating budget, and 2 million is warrant articles, that's what the budget needs to tie to. So carryovers from previous years don't get put into the budget. And an expendable trust fund, 63,000 was put in, but if there's already money in there, there's really like a separate worksheet that says what's in there, but the budget numbers are the budget numbers that were voted on. I don't change those.
But no, I understand, the 63,000 was a new, it looks to establish a transfer station facility expendable trust fund.
Just to establish?
Yeah.
Okay,
So we got a problem, so we need to make sure that the $7,900 doesn't, and we can't overspend that trust fund,
right.
Till it's been spent.
plus.
Right.
And it looks like the 7,900 from this month is what's causing the issue. And have we done all this work already on the transfer station renovation? Do we put the new roof on, and
It's in process.
so there's more bills to come still?
Till we've overspent.
This doesn't seem right to me. I think what's happened is the 63,000, okay, I know what's going on here. The 63,000 has gone into the expendable trust fund.
Right,
And someone else put a $7,900 invoice against us,
right.
which has to go somewhere else.
No,
Or it needs to go against the expendable trust.
I have to make a request to them to reimburse it, yes.
Okay.
So I guess ideally, it would be nice to have 2 lines for each expendable trust, one that's the money going in, and then the expenses against it.
Yeah, it'd be
But there
the,
was only 63,000 in it.
yeah, but that's what they did. They've only spent 7,900.
Oh,
They added the
Yeah.
two together, yeah. Okay. Oh, there was one other question. So
this is, okay.
yeah. And I'm assuming that I don't know what's going on with all these drainage projects. We put a lot of money against them. Is this our 15%? Is this our 15%? Are we done with the 15%?
On all of the drainage projects, they're really just kicking off, and we're at about 10% done. So
Okay.
these projects will go on for the next 2 years.
With all the money lapsing?
I don't know. Because if
Not
they did,
lapsing, yeah,
Okay.
okay, that's good. Capital reserve for the town highway truck, that makes sense. Capital reserve for town highway facility, same thing's going on here. So I just worry about where this 11,000, what this 11,283 is. And I'm just hoping that none of this needs to be in the budget. Capital reserve for transfer station, I don't know what the E is. Station, transfer station, something. 25,000, 46,000, spent 21. Capital reserve for fire engine, that's good. Capital reserve for emergency motor vehicle, that's good. So there's a bunch of these that really need work to figure out where they're at. Because I'm worried about that they're not going to be in either the expense not in the right place or the other hasn't been closed out yet. And then one more thing for you on these expenses in the, I gotta find it. Yeah, in other conservation. In other conservation, if you look under this, the expenses you sent us, there is a Tufton Borough Milfoil Containment Commission, and we budgeted 9,000 last year, which was half of the total expense,
Right,
right? And we've shown 16,000, so the offset hasn't happened.
correct,
So that needs to happen in here before the year closes out,
yes.
right? Okay. All right, get back to it. Sorry about that. You said it's a funding amount, we did that. Review if we're not in a place to review capital reserves. We don't have the proposed warrant articles. Police station update. We've got these numbers here, which is great.
The lights are on.
Lights on. Is anybody home?
I presumably leave them on to deter people from going in and wandering around.
Yeah.
So then, does this, Dave, does this include like paving and landscaping and getting everything else done on the building? Is there paving in here?
It should be. I don't know that.
I just don't see it listed in here.
Sorry, I have to copy. It's a combination of NR Power and,
Under site work?
yeah,
Oh, it's on the sidewalk?
yeah.
Okay. Okay. It looks like we're on target. Right? Is there anything I'm missing? Looking at this, looks like it's,
No,
we're gonna come, I mean, realistically, we may come in like around 2 million or something. A little under 2 million.
I mean, we're gonna be close, but I think we're projected to come in a couple % under.
Yeah. Good. All right. Anything else? Can I get a motion to adjourn?
I make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?